Hi, my name is Coco and I'm a health and wellness coach and I'm hailing from a cool and overcast Melbourne, Australia. I'd just like to take a moment to remind people to be well and to be healthy. Now, I promised 3 people that I would undertake research and I've commenced that. So I wanted to post some preliminary findings. I want to apologize in advance to the science geeks out there, such as myself, who have who will know what I'm talking about, and they will probably be aghast at my dumbing things down. But I'm not presenting a paper to the World Health Authority or to other science geeks. I'm actually presenting this information to the ordinary man on the street. And if I happen to come along a geek, kudos. I do hope that you're sharing the messages that I am researching as well. Okay, anywho. The first article I looked at was by Lipstitch and his colleagues, and they published this in 2012. Now, I know it's a little bit dated, but the information is still pertinent. Now, they looked at the viral evolution of the avian or the bird flu. I'm sure we all remember that. Now, the bird flu actually came out of Hong Kong in 1997. There is a bit of a trend that I've noticed in the few articles that I've written, but I'm not going to go into that now. So they looked at adamantine, which is a particular drug that was manufactured in the 1960s to combat the flu. Diseases are really clever things, and they become resistant to the drugs. I'm sure most of us know that already. So they looked at another particular drug, Temava. In 2007-2008, there was an outbreak due to a mutation, and the drugs weren't effective against this particular mutation. So that was 2008, and they actually found with this particular virus that irrespective of where it was being used, it was being found in other countries. So this particular resistant strain to the Temava. Now, what this article was predominantly about was petitioning to the governments. In particular, this is an American research team, and so they were asking for the SARS/coronaviruses to have the strictest protocol. So that's level 4, because level 4 diseases, I'm just going to remind you, are smallpox and Ebola. They have the research into those particular diseases, infections, whatever you want to call them, are conducted under the highest protocols in America. As it turns out, the SARS/coronavirus, it actually fulfills all the criteria for being researched with the strictest protocols, so level 4. Unfortunately, it has been diluted down to level 3. And at the time of printing, there were 1,495 level 3 labs, and this is in America, and there were 14 level 4 labs in America, a total of 24 worldwide at the time. And research into the coronavirus/SARS viruses, flu viruses, actually should be level 4, and the reason being is that the mutations that are created can inadvertently be leaked into the population, inadvertently and malevolently as well. So people are deliberately leaking these viruses, as well as there being accidents. So so we actually need to be aware that research is used for both good and bad reasons. But what I also want to point out is that all this stuff has been around for a long time. The governments knew about the SARS outbreak. They've known about this stuff for a long time. The coronavirus that we're currently dealing with didn't just happen. The information has been prevalent for a while. They may not know what's going on with this particular mutation, but make no mistake, they're not ignorant. So the second article that I looked at was by Patterson and colleagues, and they looked at, and this is what people, I have alluded to it before in my first video, that we derive a lot of our answers from experimenting on animals, and in particular ferrets. They're the animals of choice when it comes to examining and undertaking research into the flu viruses. So their research aims were to understand how the host adapts to the virus, and how the virus mutates, and how it's transmitted. And they looked at respiratory, so saliva droplets in particular. And what the article was about predominantly was about asking for more effective surveillance on the research that is being conducted. So yes, it was about deriving vaccines and therapies, and I think they failed in this regard. It was about providing public health solutions for the future. Now, this particular article was published in 2013, pretty much soon after the 2012 article, and it basically followed up from where the 2012 Lipstitch and his colleagues left off. And they went through a whole host of reasons why we need to be highly vigilant about research. And that's because there is the debate for risks versus benefits. The thing is, if we don't do research, that means that the governments don't have any preparation. However, what I may add is that all research is actually freely available, so that means that anybody with enough money can actually manufacture their own strains and drop it into the population. Now, I don't know enough of how this particular infection occurred. I do know that it came out of Wuhan, China. I know that. That's the only thing I know. I haven't actually thoroughly investigated the parameters regarding that. I will see if I can. I'm not a big fan of media. They have a way of just distorting the truth. They and politicians are my favourite kind of people. Not. But anyway, that's another topic of debate. So what I am going to leave with is that the governments have actually known about this stuff for a long time. So this is no surprise. Absolutely not. Are they doing everything they can? Well, I'm going to find out, I guess. And I just want to leave people with the knowledge that the answers are actually out there. I belong to the State Library of Victoria, and I can access my my account from anywhere in the world. I've used it in New Zealand to undertake my research. So for those of us who live in Australia, you can actually become a member of your state library, and that will give you access to all the journal articles that I'm utilizing to undertake my research. Google Scholar's good, but sometimes they make you pay for the articles. I'm not sure what the rest of the world has available for free. And let's be real, anybody can access this information. So people who are doing good, such as myself, and people who aren't doing so great, and those who are using the information as a weapon. Because they, like I know, that if you don't have it here, you don't have it anywhere. Cheers.